Very simple question. Why would the Democrats, Hillary and Obama, want to endanger Americans by bringing in Syrian refugees? Number one, most of them want to stay in Syria if we could just provide a safe zone. That's what we ought to do. Number two, there's not a single Muslim country out of 65 that want to take any. What do they know that we don't? Why don't the 65 Muslim countries, many of them are very wealthy, have lots of money, take the Syrian refugees? That's where they ought to go. Three, we can't vet any. It's a lie to say we can. All of our intelligence agencies, including Homeland Security and the FBI, say we cannot properly vet any Syrian refugees. There's no database in Syria. And they're allowed to lie. The Quran has this principle called taqiyya. If you say to an ISIS guy, "Are you ISIS?" he'll say no. And he's allowed to do that by the Quran. We cannot vet any. All our intelligence says no, and they are just lying when they say that we can. It's ridiculous to endanger us. Then when you ask the Syrian refugees how many support ISIS, 13% admit it. So Obama wants to admit 10,000. That's 1,300 by poll. That would be ISIS. If he wants to admit 100,000, which they say they do, that's 13,000. So why would you want to admit all those ISIS people on top of what we already have? In addition, when you ask Muslims in America how many support violent jihad, it is not a tiny percentage, as Obama continually lies about. 25% by polls say they support violent jihad. 60% in France say they support suicide bombing some or all of the time. And if you ask younger Muslims, they get more radical as they get younger. Younger Muslims, the number is much higher than 25% in America. So why would you want to bring more here when you can't vet them that are a danger? Why would you do that? Unless you only want votes because Muslims vote 80% Democrat, or you're a jihadist and you want to cause disruption and mayhem in America. And we already have seen clear evidence that ISIS is recruiting among the Syrian refugees. In fact, two of the guys in Paris were ISIS Syrian refugees. It just doesn't make any sense. And this idea that Obama and Hillary are saying we're not at war with Islam, no, we're not at war with Islam. Israel has relationships, peace relationships with Egypt and Jordan. The head of Egypt, El-Sisi, is closing 27,000 mosques because he's afraid of them. So if he's afraid of Muslims, well, we should be very concerned about bringing in Syrian refugees, 13% of whom admit to supporting ISIS. And so it makes absolutely no sense to take a chance to endanger us when we cannot vet them. All the intelligence people say we cannot vet them. 13% say they are violent ISIS jihadists. We already have 25% of our Muslims in America. Obama has been surreptitiously bringing in many Muslims, way out of proportion to any other immigrant group. There's now over 1 million he's brought in during his tenure. He says he's going to double down on bringing more Muslims here. It's just going to cause more and more problems in America that we don't need. There have been 41 different Islamic terrorist events since 9/11. Check the website, The Religion of Peace, to see the full list. It's just a dangerous thing. And why do the Democrats want to endanger us? Ask yourself, is there any part of the world that's safer for America or anybody in the world now since Obama took office? There's not a single place. Just complete chaos. Libya, they said, was a big success story. They wanted Gaddafi out, and now it's a breeding ground for terrorism. Iran, Obama's giving $150 billion to buy ICBMs to hit America. It's just crazy. And this idea about allowing more Syrian refugees is also insane. So why do the Democrats want to endanger us? It's not about compassion. And this lie that there's women and children, 80 to 85% of them are military-age men. Just look at the pictures. Now, you want to bring in a couple of babies and mothers who you can carefully vet, or 95-year-olds, okay, a couple. But 100,000 Syrian refugees, 10,000 Syrian refugees, mostly young men of fighting age who are being recruited by ISIS, that is complete insanity.